please take it.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Right. Good morning.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, Vijay sir, please go ahead and start the introduction. Then we can dive into the topic. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining the call, and I think this is another Skill Up Saturday session that we are bringing you forth with a wonderful speaker here. Who has a lot of experience. And just to give you a background about S Mentor, we've been trying to be the bridge between industry needs and then the student confusion at the student or the young professionals, confusion. We try to be the horizontal to see if we can provide them with the right guidance, right knowledge, right learnings, in overall right actions for real world success. Because if you Google today, anybody can find information about how to build a career in AI or cyber security, but the authenticity or the veracity of the information need to be can be questionable. So that's where what we did is smentor.ai. It's a hybrid mentoring model, a combination of technology and humans brought together to help provide you the right guidance to achieve the right results for the real world success. So for this, we have this, if you log on to our chatbot here, you get all provisions, including our Skill Up Saturday sessions, including registering with a one-to-one with our mentors, and technical discussion forums, many things. So I would strongly encourage all of you to stay connected with us through smentor.ai or through social media. We have very good 30 plus mentors like Suresh who are really passionate to give back to the society. And then we have mentored so far 75,000 students. We have MOUs with a lot of state governments in India, and we have good social media presence. So we're looking forward to extending this cause to all the people who are looking for the right guidance and expertise, especially if you look at someone like Suresh, who's been in the industry for the last 20 years and who has seen the journey from a software developer to an architect. So he pretty much knows how to prepare for an interview, how to get ready, get yourself pre-work, post-work, market, brand. I think he knows how to. And today's session pretty much highlights his experience, how to make you stand out in the crowd of applicants that are applying for a particular job. So I thank Suresh and for this for giving his time. It's very early in the morning for him, in California, in West Coast. So thanks for being here, and please make it interactive. Please ask questions, and please spread the cause of smentor.ai. It is a non-profit organization. We are here to help and share our experience to as many people as possible on a pro bono method. So thanks again, Suresh. With that, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. So yeah, this is all about S-Mentor. So we provide, as Vijay mentioned, we provide 24/7 career mentoring support, and we provide technical discussions. We also have Skill Up Saturdays. We try to come up every Saturday. One mentor will come up and share his experiences. So we have one-on industry experts. We are ready to give one-on-one mentoring as well. So please use these services, and you can log on to smentor.ai or smentor.org. These are all resources available. So now let's dive into the next the actual topic of this one. And before diving into it, just a small intro about me. So of course, most of the attendees may be my friends and who already know about me. But if the people may not know about me, just I want to give a short introduction. So this is Suresh Pakuluri, and I have 20 years of experience in IT industry. As Vijay mentioned, I navigated so many technologies, companies, and right now I worked in Microsoft, HCL, and also right now last 8 years I'm in Providence, which is a healthcare technology. So I'm working as a principal software engineer. So coming to the mentorship, I mentored around 25 students. I would say I don't want to give big number. So last 2-3 years I started. So these are the one-on-one sessions I gave, a couple of group sessions. I also, this is my 25 students and professionals I mentored, and around 80 plus sessions I gave, coding sessions. So some of the sessions I recorded in my YouTube channel as well. I will provide all those, and I'm ready to give again. If people are interested, I can also give again some of the coding and data structure algorithms, how to understand the basics, how to navigate these software professional jobs. And interview, as I said, I'm in the panel for many companies. I'm in the interview panel. I interviewed more than 100 people in my whole career, all the way from juniors to seniors as well. So, and as a candidate, I also attended more than 30 plus interviews. So that's where I want to share the knowledge from both the sides, from from the candidates, what are the struggles, and from the interviewer panels, what we are expecting, from the candidates. It's a kind of sharing those knowledge will really help to prepare. So that's the main topic I want to cover. And my audio is clear, right? Just want to confirm one more time, Vijay sir. So is my, and you can see my slide also, right? I hope everything is good. So yeah, just want to, like, doing a job is different and getting a job is different. So there are so many steps and strategies involved in getting a job. So in the interview readiness workshop, this is interview readiness workshop, so I will cover all those steps and resources. So that's why I want to call it a workshop, because it's not just listen and go away. So I'm ready here to provide the slides and resources, templates, and a lot of articles, and where I found a lot of information. So that's the reason I call it as a workshop. So, and please raise your hand or post a question. So Vijay is going to look and help me to identify any questions. I will try to answer. So I'm happy to pause anytime. I can answer if I can answer any questions. I will try to, and I can also unmute if you really want to share something, your experiences or your questions, concerns. So please, interrupt me anytime. So let's make it as a collaboration session. And yeah, let's dive into the actual topic. So agenda of today's session. So what is the agenda? So we want to, I want to create a step-by-step process when we are going into job market. So what are the things we have to consider? So the first thing is building the LinkedIn profile. Second one, building the resume. Third one, building the personal brand. And then job applying strategies. So what are the strategies, how to apply jobs? There are some very interesting points we have to take care. And interview preparation, this is the main thing, right? How to prepare interviews. So if you are not in the market for so long, or if you have been working for so many years in one company, you may not know these strategies and how to interview preparation. So once, if you just entered into it, into the market, you will confuse and you don't know where to start. So this is really helpful to some of the points. So based on my experience, so I created this step-by-step process. And the last thing is do's and don'ts on the interview day. So even after the preparation, everything, what are the actual steps that you need to do just before the interview, one day before the interview, on the interview day, or after the interview, what are the things you have to do? So around the interview day, those are the very important steps. So one thing I want to highlight, why I call building. So look at the word building, building, building. So why it is called building? Because it's a foundational steps. You have to build these things before you're really going interviews. So that's why the 3 steps, which is like LinkedIn profile, building of the LinkedIn profile, building of the resume, and building your personal brand, is really, important foundational steps before you're applying jobs in these days. So I will clearly dive into each concepts and I will explain why they are important. Okay, so let's dive in. So if we'll give around 1 hour time, and then we can go for questions. So if we cannot cover all these topics, I'm ready to continue the whatever the topics remaining in the next week. So please feel free to continue the sessions. Let's dive into the first topic, building the LinkedIn profile. Okay, why LinkedIn is so important? This is the question I heard from some of the people. So LinkedIn, we can treat LinkedIn as a tool to showcase yourself to the world. So that's the main thing. Think yourself and your skills as a product, and LinkedIn is a marketing tool to sell yourself and get a job. So that's the thing. So you need to think yourself as a product. And what is the marketing? For any product, we need a marketing tool, right? So LinkedIn as a marketing tool to sell yourself and to get a job. So without marketing, no product can exist these days, right? So similarly, without LinkedIn, no one can get a job these days. So I want to highlight that point. And what are the advantages? So on the slide, you can see the advantages. So if you build your LinkedIn profile, you can build your professional network and connections and create professional display of your academics and your career aspirations and career accomplishments. And you can find jobs, professional opportunities, make it easier for companies and recruiters and hiring managers to find you. These days, really tough. We have millions of people and a lot of companies. So this is the best way for the recruiters and also hiring managers to find you and research companies you are interested in. So that is also another thing. So there are a lot of LinkedIn pages, LinkedIn forms, or you can subscribe and understand the companies. And next one is join the groups and expand the professional knowledge. This is also really important, right? So you need to understand what is happening in the industry. So this is a very interesting, important step. You must have a professional LinkedIn profile before you graduate. This is the what people are saying. You before you even entering into the job market. So you have to be very active in the LinkedIn. By the time you are in last year of your career in the job market, when in your graduation, you should be able to ready with your LinkedIn profile. So this is another statistics, like why LinkedIn is so important. So this is the statistics, and this is not something I created. This is from a company called LHH, which is like a career coaching company. So they are the ones they created this company. They are the ones who created these statistics. So look at the numbers. So 50% of hiring managers will decide to proceed with your application based on your LinkedIn profile. So that is 91% of marketing executives list LinkedIn as a top place to find quality content. So even the content, so much valuable content they are putting in LinkedIn, like articles and posts and all. And look at the 94% of recruiters say they use LinkedIn to find candidates. So 94%. So look at that. So without LinkedIn, we cannot go. And look at the active members, 100 millions in a day, 260 million in a month, 500 million in every worldwide. LinkedIn members are active. So LinkedIn is a requirement in today's professional job market. I want to highlight again. So very important. And people think that they can just start with resume. They can start with resume, or before even you need to parallelly build your LinkedIn profile and as well as resume before entering into the market. So both are equally important. So now let's look at what are the steps, what are the primary things we have to build in the LinkedIn, because a lot of sections we have, but basic, what are the steps we have to fill in. Here is the build your LinkedIn profile, how to do the LinkedIn sections to be completed. So look at the other statistics here, like 75% of hiring managers report looking at LinkedIn profiles to learn about a candidate's background. So they always look at, even if I get any resume, first thing I do is, where is the LinkedIn URL of that candidate? Let's go and search about that candidate. So this is very first thing everyone do. So what are the things you have to focus on? Headline and summary. Next one, headshot, banner behind the headshot, and summary that captures the attention, and detailed work and volunteering experience, education details and skills. These are the primary things. Of course, we have so many other things in LinkedIn, but these are the primary things you have to focus on when you are applying for jobs or when you are actively in your career. So I gave a couple of in the comments of these slides. I gave a couple of templates and articles how to do this, and I also gave my own LinkedIn URL as well. You can refer. So of course, I also need to change some of the things, but I keep on updating on the LinkedIn. So next one, this is the steps. Like let's dive into the concepts of each of these, because I want to highlight, when you are really updating the LinkedIn, you don't know where to start, you don't know what things you have to consider. That's why I want to focus on this. So first one is add your photo. So people think photo is not important, but look at the stats. So some stats are saying 21% more views and 36% more messages you will get if you have a photo in your LinkedIn profile. And another stat saying 14%, 14 times more profile views on average. And what are the tips involved in adding a photo? It's not just adding whatever the photo you have. So better to add a professional clothing, as if you are going on a job interview. Use a simple background or outdoor, and you do not need an expensive camera. Just lighting is important, and do not use the picture with others, because you want to focus on, people want to focus on yours. So these are the very important aspects we have to consider. And the next one is headline. This is also very important. Headline keywords are used by recruiters to find candidates. So headline is something you can see on this red box, the right after your name. So that's the headline. So create a unique headline that will captivate the recruiters and hiring managers. So try to think about yourself, what you want to present, how you want to present yourself. This is a very important aspect. Before people go into the details of your resume or LinkedIn, they will look at your headline. So be creative and unique, and where you are now, where you want to be. So this includes something like what are you doing now with the small keywords, and where you want to be, what kind of roles you are interested, what kind of positions, or what kind of things you are passionate about, and your specialization. So what are your special skills that you want to highlight, and use keywords. Do not use current job titles or just student as a headline. Some people just put their current job title, that's it. That's not enough. So you have to add a lot of other keywords, and you're passionate, what you passionate about, and where you want to go. Those kind of things you have to include. And I will, in a minute, I will show my profile and show what I did so far in my profile. Yeah, here is another example they also gave. So these are the slides. Next, go to the um, summary. This is also really important. 50% of hiring managers will decide whether to move forward with a candidate application based on LinkedIn profile. And the first thing they look at is, after the headline, they look at summary. So summary is like, you just summarize your whole experience and what you want to. It's kind of narrative, a simple introduction to yourself. So use the first person. Then what are the tips? Use the first person narrative. Be specific and not generic. So specific things, what you really did and what are your achievements. Use the keywords for your industry and job description, and show your passion and aspirations in your writing. This is very important. So you are doing something and you want to go in a different direction, or you want to expand in a particular area, like a leadership or management or architecture. So anything. So whatever your specialized skills, where your aspirations, mention that. That is really interested, and by the it will really help for the recruiters and hiring managers to understand your passion, where you want to go, and highlight the skills you have gained at the workplace and college. So you have to really highlight. And if you look at that summary, it should have kind of 3 sections: just an intro and the main body, where you can include your skills, and the last one is conclusion. So how they can contact you. So it's always better to give your email, and so what are the other options? Maybe you can give your phone number. So, or if you really want to hide phone number, you can just give an email, or you can ask people to directly DM, direct message on the LinkedIn. So next one is education. As I said, this is where you need to important, like people will look at where you studied and what are your qualifications. So it's really a section where you can highlight yourself, add your degrees, your scores, GPA scores, and organizations or clubs, and whatever you did, like kind of courses. So any courses you completed. So it's always better to add all those things in the LinkedIn, because that will add value to your overall experience, right? So it's kind of differentiation. If as a recruiter or as a hiring manager, if I see 2 resumes or 2 LinkedIn profiles of similar experience and for the same position, so these will differentiate what you did on top of your normal job, what are the things you did, what are the courses you did. So that will really add value. And last one is work experience. This is also really important. So look at the stat there. Look at there. 56% of hiring managers report that candidates do not describe their job description, job roles enough in the LinkedIn. So that's enough details. You need to have enough depth in it. So you need to add the details, what you're really doing in your current job. And so this is a couple of tips on that. Create an entry for each job you held, including unpaid volunteering jobs. So if you are working on a volunteering companies, or if you are doing outside your normal job, you can add those. It really adds a value. And add company job titles, dates of employment, and create job description for each job entry. Summarize achievements, awards, promotions for each job, and show how you contributed to the company goals. This is very important. So add metrics. You always need to add metrics. So how much money you saved, or how many man hours you gained, you saved from the automations you created or the tools you created. So how it really important, like that you just need to highlight those points and emphasize more on the impact you and your project created. So that is really important. Don't make it like a generic, I worked on this, I worked on that, I was participated. This is not enough. This is just responsibilities. Don't add your responsibilities, duties, add your accomplishments. So what is the impact you created? So what kind of thing? So people from the other side, from the recruiters, from the hiring manager, they will look at, so what? You worked on those, so what he really created impact. So that's why you need to highlight your impact and your project created. What is the project you worked on? What is the really importance of that project or the tool or the product in the industry? So it could be in the industry or it could be for the company, how it really helped it. So that's really matters. Those are the things. And the next one is skills. So not only just jobs and titles and descriptions, you also need to understand, like you need to add a lot of skills. So in the LinkedIn, there is a add skills section where you can add around 30 to 50 skills. So the advantage of adding skills is like the other people can endorse you. So people in your colleagues or other people can endorse that you worked on this. So add LinkedIn connections, so you will get more endorsements and validating your skills with employees. That's really important. So once you added the skills, the people can endorse you. So you can also request endorsements from co-workers and superiors. That is also thing you can do. So you can request other people to endorse, so that once you keep updating your LinkedIn profile, once you're trying, those skills really add up. So you can ask your previous colleagues, co-workers, and you can also endorse others so that you will get more endorsement for yourself. And the last and very important section in the LinkedIn is recommendations. So why it is important? Because recommendations is very important. It will help to elevate you from the crowd. So you have so many people worked on this. So it's a kind of, anyone can add anything on your jobs and titles, and you can say you worked on this, it saved something, but how it is validated, right? So recommendations is something other people can, appreciate your work. They will see and they will explain about your works, your skills, and how you did. So those kind of really important. So it will help you to pick your resume from hundreds of resumes, hundreds of candidates. So you get recommendation from people in higher positions, and you can also get a recommendation from your colleagues in your past companies. This tells you how you work with others. That will also very important. What others see you as a good at. So what areas you are good at. So they can express their honest opinions, and they can also boost you in what areas you're really good at. So they will highlight basically. So let's have a poll. How many recommendations you received so far in your LinkedIn? So just want to pause a second. So anyone want to give any number, like how many recommendations you had? Just want to so Vijay sir, do you have any, like, you can see the chart, right? I cannot see the chart in this session. So maybe I need to come out from the presentation mode. Just want to have some interaction.
Yeah, I think there are some questions, Suresh. Just go to Q&A. I
Very
think, okay, just go to Q&A and.
Oh, Q&A. Very good. Very good. Yeah. You can see that. So just want to pause for a second, just go rather than going. So want to see how many people join. So very good. We have 12 people, and please ask any questions. I want to pause a second. So yeah, give just a kind of rough estimate, like a rough number. So it's okay to be honest here. So just you need, someone says I need to check. So you don't know how many recommendations. Okay, let's look at the questions. What is the easiest way to gather the company impact you have and as an IC? So that's really important. Yeah. So how can we gather impact you created? You can think about, you worked on an IC role, and you can look at the overall goal of the project. So when the project started, we can see a couple of sessions you can attend, right? So what we're really doing, right? So what is really helping? Try to investigate, like you need to work with your managers, work with people in the team, and try to understand how your work is impacting and what problems it is really solving. Sometimes it's not obvious. If you are working on a product that is used by consumers, you can simply say, I worked on this, people are using it, this is the advantage I created. But in some cases, you cannot easily derive that. So you need to do some research and work with your colleagues and your managers and TPMs and product managers, product owners to understand the impact, the advantage, the need of the project. So why we really, working on a particular tool, what it is really helping. And it could be, sometimes it could save money to the company, right? So sometimes it could save a lot of man hours. So instead of doing manually, we can automate, like our tools, the tools that we are building really save a lot of man hours, so they can automate. So you can include that, how much percentage of man hours you saved and how much, and the performance. Sometimes you worked on some tools and you increased the performance, right? There is a system there for a couple of years, it is still there, and last 1 year, one year, couple of months, you worked on a system to revamp, right? Or how it really helped, right? So how much performance increase you created. So these are the things you can consider. And sometimes you can include new technologies. So you can there is a legacy system in place and there are some issues with it, and you replace with the latest tool and technology, and you gain a lot of advantages. So highlight those advantages, highlight the new possibilities that you created. So I can give an example. If we worked on a product where we have legacy authentication system, we replaced with the latest and innovative authentication system. So that really helped the product to commercialize a lot and easily, migrate to different customers. So it makes life of the patient easy. So, and also security compliant. So those are the things. So advantages, not always numbers. Sometimes it could be the advantages that you're creating in terms of technology advancements and product new ventures. So basically those things will enable your product to go into the market more quickly and adaptable. So sometimes the tools you worked on, the fixes you created will make the product to adapt to different technologies, different clients. So you can include those achievements. That's the impact. So you can include your contribution. At the same time, you can you can explain the impact that your project or the tool that you created in a broader way. I hope I answered that question. Any specific question on LinkedIn branding? Okay, you asked about it. Okay, got it. Yeah, so very interesting. Now, coming to the recommendations, then let's get back to this slide here. So recommendations are really important. As I said, how many recommendations? So let me look at let's look at this slides here. So obtain at least 5 recommendations from your connections. That's what they are saying. So if you can check my resume, you can check my LinkedIn profile. I have around 17 recommendations in overall career. So it's better always, like when the people are leaving your company, or you can ask, hey, please give a recommendation. Or if you are leaving, if you are trying the jobs, or it's always better to if you have a really good rapport and that person looked at you and they understand what you're really doing, and it's always better to request them, hey, put some recommendation about my skills, my work. So that really helps. So I will quickly show you my resume and LinkedIn profile. So it may help you to get some idea. Okay, so I'm going to share in the other screen. I hope you guys can see my screen. Just give a thumbs up if everything looking good, and you guys can see my browser, right? So yeah, here is the headshot and title, and here is the summary, just kind of a headline. So I'm passionate about these technologies, these roles, and I'm currently here in health tech, healthcare, and you can see the about section. This is what I'm saying. So about section is a summary where you can include about yourself, your achievements, your core competencies, and how the people can contact you. So, and top skills, And featured articles or featured posts. This is also really helpful where you're really good at. If you have any, yeah, I was a certified mentor, so you can add those certifications or courses you completed. This really helps. And let's look at the experience. This is what I'm talking about. Experience wise, you can add what you really did in each company. You can add the links. You can add, if you're working on a website which is publicly available, if you're working on apps, you can include the links of those apps and links of those websites. It really helps the recruiters to understand what you did. If you attended any conferences, you can include. So it really helps that you're actively in the technologies, you're more active in your career. So this gives a good impression. And coming to the projects, this is also important if you're working on any side projects. So very interesting thing, it really differentiate you from others. If you worked on any apps or any any other projects, any websites, always add those projects. And here are the skills I'm talking about. So look at this, I added around 60 skills. People can endorse you on your skills. And yeah, and coming to the recommendations, look at this. So these are the recommendations they can give you about it. So this is how people can see, and you have full visibility. So whether you want to show this recommendation or not. Let's say somebody talked about you on a specific skill or specific area which you are not interested to go anymore, right? So you can hide it. So it's always you. So it's on you as a candidate. You can control how you want to be presented to the crowd, to the outside. That's a market. So very interesting. So we have to build all this. Okay, now going back to this session. So let me go back to the slides. Yeah. So that's why we have to recommendations is very important. So we can request the people to recommendations. And recommendations, basically it's a recommendation is kind of a credibility. So what you did, and they can also include all of your past experiences and how you helped them. So all those things. And once you approve a recommendation, then only it will be visible to the profile. Okay, that's all mostly about LinkedIn. Here is a small example. Here is one more thing you can do is you can basically personalize the URL. So whenever you created a LinkedIn profile, it will give you a random URL for your profile. Look at on the left side here. So this is the GMI student 88, something like that, the number. But you can customize like this. So you can look at my resume, my LinkedIn as well. So I added my first name, last name, Suresh Pokuluri. That's the keyword I added to my LinkedIn. So it's a customized one. So it's really makes you out from the crowd. So these are the very important steps. I can share I have a lot of articles and other templates, so I can share those as well. So now diving into the second topic, building the resume. So this is also a very important step. And before going into that, let's understand the difference between resume and CV. Okay, resume is a concise document that is adapted to each individual position candidate is applying for. So it's concise. It's a very small, and it's a specific to the one position or the candidate that you are applying. So kind of if you are applying for a position, then you have to have a resume for that position. Whereas CV is a comprehensive document that covers candidates' achievements as opposed to career biography like a resume. So it's more about CV is more about the comprehensive document. So these days, I think CVs are replaced by LinkedIn profiles. I don't think CVs are used, and this is a great way to share. And LinkedIn is always easy to share with other people. LinkedIn URL. Resume is like a trailer of a movie. If you want to compare, so it should highlight main points, but it should not reveal the entire picture of your career. So resume is always about customizing based on the job description, based on the position you are applying for, and it should be highlight what you're really good at. So, and it has to create an interest to the hiring manager. This is what I learned based on my personal experience. Don't include everything. Don't create big resumes. Just to create this. That is basically to create an interest to the hiring team, recruiters and hiring managers. They should feel that this candidate is promising. let's interview and see, what he knows about it and particular technology, or let's interview him and understand as a person that you can consider. So how many pages of resume do you have? Just a poll. I want to pause for a second, and any questions, you can post any questions, or tell me how many pages of resume you have. 2, very good. Okay. And Charan, 1 page. Wow, that's great. I'm just closing here a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So, 3 pages. Awesome, Elijah. So yeah, so that's let's look at what is the industry standard. Okay. So let's look at industry standard. How many pages the resume should be? I'm going back to the slides. Resume versus CV here. The lengthwise, it should be 1 or 2 pages, no more, regardless of candidate stage in career. So irrespective whether you have 20 years experience or 2 years or 0 years, so max is 1 to 2 pages. So you can concise everything and put it in 2 pages. That's the best practice. Whereas CV, you can elaborate 3 to 4 pages. That's fine. But resume, these are the constraints, and purpose is basically showcase the skills, achievements, and professional experience that relates to the specific position of the candidate is applying for. So if you are applying for a specific position, you need to include those details only. So you can remove rest of the things which is not, highlighting or useful for the position you are applying. So the content is like competency based, whereas in the CV it's a credential based. What are the things education wise, presentations, publications, awards, you can include everything, elaborate more in CV. But whereas in resume, you just need to very concise. So include the work experience, skills, and notable achievements. That's it. Notable achievements that really help to the particular position you are applying. And where, so more common resume is more common in US and other countries now, I think everywhere. So rather than CVs. So another thing about job descriptions, as I said, resumes you have to customize based on job descriptions, right? So it is really hard for companies to find candidates with 100% match with job descriptions. To be frank, it's really hard. Even if they find such candidates, let's say you found a candidate which is exactly matching 100%, or at least more than 90-95% matching with the job description, they may not consider that candidate. This is the fact. Because if you know everything that is listed in job description, if you are really 90-95%, you already did all those the responsibilities or the technologies. If you are, it can be, you can think of yourself as overqualified. The people think that he's really did all those things, and sometimes they will think this guy may not be here so long, so they get bored because they want to learn more. People look for always challenging positions, right? Challenging work. So that's why you need to, that it's kind of aspirational. So job description is kind of aspirational. People will include so many things, like in the hiring managers, recruiters, they want ideal candidate with all these skills. But what you can do is, of course, you have to highlight those skills. If you really have those skills, you can highlight in a resume. So companies hire people, not the skills. That is important. So as a person, you have to be a good person. So understand, like, people will believe that, okay, this person has the skills, enough skills that he can learn, he can help the team, and he's a cultural. Those are the things, like team fit, cultural fit is important rather than just skills. So you have to highlight your, as I said, job description is important because that will give you what they're really looking, what they're really doing in the particular company where you are going. So always look at the job description and then highlight those things, customize the resume based on the job description and apply to that particular job. And low light unwanted things. This is also important. If they are asking, you might have different technologies you worked on, you have different experiences, but what is really helping for that particular position? If some of the statements, some of the achievements, some of the work, if it is not related to that position, you can low light that. You can simply summarize in 1 or 2 lines. That is what customization means. So there are a lot of examples. So there are a lot of samples also there. how to work on those aspects. Now, another difference here, when I start building resume, I was thinking, what is there I can put it in LinkedIn versus resume. So this is the difference, the depth. So your LinkedIn profile gives you room to elaborate. So you can add more, about your project. You can add more about your company. You can more add about your project, your responsibilities, your achievements. You can elaborate more in LinkedIn, but whereas resume just highlight. Okay, so in the LinkedIn, you can add samples, images, documents, videos of your work. You can do whatever. You can expand everything in LinkedIn. That is the advantage the LinkedIn provides you. And personality. So your profile allows hiring managers and recruiters to actively seek you out, your skills and experience, but more importantly, show them your unique path and personality. That is what the LinkedIn will give you. Whereas resume is just highlights. And recommendations, as I said, recommendations are really helpful in LinkedIn, where you may not usually include in your resume. That is the advantage. And the platform LinkedIn is living and breathing network where other students and graduates, professionals, everyone can interact you. That's a way of interaction. So that's why these are the differences when you are preparing resume. Just to keep in mind these points. So LinkedIn, as I said, LinkedIn enables you to differentiate yourself from other crowd, from the crowd, and showcase your skills uniquely. So whereas resume is just a fixed template and every resume must follow it. So even if you look at the position, and if I get so many resumes, more or less all the resumes are same. Of course, there are the achievements are different and the experiences is different, technology is different, but more or less they have the exact same template. Most people need to follow this, right? But whereas LinkedIn is up to you. You can customize yourself. You can add, you can highlight your skills. You can highlight your personality. You can highlight your passion. So those are the advantages. So I built my career in various roles. I worked on back end, front end, mobile technologies. I designed and architected many systems. I also provide myself. I proved myself as technical leader and mentor. So this is how I want to present, differentiate from the crowd. So how can you differentiate from the people of same experience, similar experience, right? So that's how I will differentiate. I will explain what I did in all those areas, right? So, and here is the resume realities. So what are the realities of resume? So recruiters and hiring managers receive hundreds of resumes for single position. They may not need your resume at all the way. So they may not read. So if you are looking, if they are getting hundreds of resumes, how they don't have that much time. So they may not read your resume. So large companies, they use a database called applicant tracking system, ATS, to compile and sort through the applicants and resumes submitted for each position. So this is very important these days. Most of the companies are using ATS. So these applicant tracking systems will filter your resume. So ATS method allows companies to set key skills and competences so they can quickly identify candidates with the required skills. So what is meant by that is ATS systems will give you, I can ask the system, hey, give me resumes with these skills. Then it will filter. So that's why we have to make sure our resume filtered by the ATS system. So no manual scanning of the resume before ATS system. ATS is the first one that will scan your resume in most of the companies when you apply directly in their website. It is critical to include keywords. As I said, from the job description, you need to include those keywords, not just including for the sake of filtering. You need to highlight where you really used it. So if candidate's resume or CV does not include those keywords, a member of the organization may never actually see your application and potentially leading to missed opportunities. That's why you just don't apply a generic resume to every job. You look at the job description, what they're really looking, and if you have those experiences, add those keywords, and then highlight where you worked on, how you worked on those areas. And recruiters, hiring managers can scan resumes in a matter of seconds. This is another thing. Once the ATS system filtered your resume, then out of 100, let's say around 10 resumes came to hiring managers, they will spend fraction of seconds, not even 1 minute, sometimes less than 1 minute as well. So it's in a brief time they decide whether to explore the candidate further or move on. So they will decide just to let's interview or no. So that's a fraction of seconds they can identify. So if a connection is not made between the candidate background and the experience, the job requirements, they will move on, right? So that's really important. So don't use 2-column resumes. Always use text-based resume. So I can show you what is meant by that. So I can show example my resume itself, how I started. So I started with this kind of 2 formats. This is really colorful, very summarized. Of course, it's 2 pages with all the highlights and colorings. But the problem is this is not the right way. Of course, if you're really applying through references, if you're applying in a different way, it is okay. But ATS systems, these applicant tracking systems may not be able to understand these kind of 2-column formats. So it's always better to go with a simple text-based single column approach. Single column in the sense like everything in a single paragraph based. And here is my resume. I can show you here. So name, title, and the main contact details and summary and technical skills, and then professional experience and awards and other things like what are the achievements you got in education. So simple, just 2 pages, highlight the things that you want to highlight in a particular for a particular position. So let's get back to the slides. So that's what I mean, like 2-column. Don't use those kind of fancy resume formats. It may work in different industries, but for software professionals, probably go with the simple text-based approach. Let's look at common mistakes that we do, that people will do in the resumes, right? So writing 3+ pages of content for resume. This is like 3+ is not good. And writing 4+ pages of CV. If you consider CV, if someone asks 4+ pages is not good. Using generic resume for multiple job postings. As I said, people just submit the same resume to every job. That is not good. And not including keywords from the description. From the job description, we have to include the keywords. And using wrong tone in your writing, that is also really important. Make sure it has the correct tone and focus on duties instead of achievements. So just don't say like I worked on this, and completed this, participated. That's not the right tone. So always add metrics. Always add the achievements you created, the advantages of the work or the achievements. You have to add those metrics as well. So not ordering experience by relevant or impact, and not telling the career story in your writing. So what really you did, and kind of you need to explain that. And obviously the spelling and grammar errors is not, you should not include those. And these are the common things, including the other things is like not using header or your name on every page. So it's suggested to have header on every page. Adding photographs to resume is not a good idea. Include references at the end. So which is not required. References, if they really ask, you can provide. And of course, if they really want to know about you, the LinkedIn recommendations is there. And not saving the document with a suitable name. This is also really important. Don't say resume 1, resume 1, resume 2. Don't say that. And it's always better to have a clear-cut name, your first name, last name, probably with the date, or you can add with the title. So that's very important. Suitable name is also important. And using personal pronouns, which is also not good. I, you. So I worked on, they worked on. So these are the things you should not include. And the thing is lying. So never lie on your CV or resume. This is something very important. You just include what you really worked on, what you learned. So there are a lot of resume examples, a lot of resume guides. So many articles. I can share some of them with you after the session. And just to highlight, so as I said, what are the main important sections of a resume? We just reviewed sections of LinkedIn, and this is the sections of resume. First one is header, which has all the name, phone number, LinkedIn. These are very important. Without LinkedIn, I may not even consider resume, right? So I don't know. I need to search with his name. And if I search with the name, there will be multiple people with the same name. It is really hard for recruiters and hiring managers. You are giving a hard time for them. It's always better to include your email ID and phone number and LinkedIn profile. So directly, if I get a resume, the first thing I do is go to LinkedIn. That's why you have to make their job easy. So that it will be helpful for easy filtering or easy scanning of your resume. And professional summary, as I said, just paragraphs, just 1 or 2 lines of bullet points about your professional summary. And education, which is important, you just need to add all the colleges you attended, degrees you attained, awards, achievements, or any patents, all those skills. And finally, expertise and skills. This is where you can add your technical skills. This is where you can customize based on the job description. You can customize and add those skills. This is really where the ATS systems look at. This is where the recruiters will look at, and also the hiring managers, they can look at. So, and the next one is professional experience, which will elaborate where you worked on, the companies, the job titles, and the positions. This is where you need to include achievements. That is called, there is a format called CAR format, CAR. C means challenge, A means action, and R means results. Challenge, action, and result. So what is the challenge, and what is the action you did, and what is the result? So this will give you a kind of metrics. I worked on this, and this is what this is a challenge, this is the complex system, and this is what we integrated, or this is what I worked on this, and then result it created. So always add revenue generated. If you have a numbers, you can add those dollar values, how many millions it saved, how many, how your project saved, and how much money you saved for the company, or how many manual hours. As I said, sometimes automation tools will save a lot of manual hours. So you can include that. And finally, the volunteering experience. If you are working on any other organizations, or if you're working on side projects, or you can include all those. If you are working on your own idea, you implemented something. So sometimes we can work on apps. If you are app developer, you worked on your personal apps. If you are website, you can work on your personal websites. So anything, any moonlighting activity, you can include. This really highlights, this will differentiate you from rest of the crowd. So okay, here is the highlights so far. And on the left side, you can, as I said, ATS format, use simple, focus on content, match key skills, experiences to job postings, generally 2 pages, and focus on most recent, generally 10 to 15 years. That, as I said, this is also important. If you have more than 10, 15 years experience, you no need to elaborate more on your past experiences. You can just summarize, because there is no point of experience, including those technologies 15 years back. Those technologies may already outdated, right? So you worked on it, but what you really, gained out of it, kind of experience, just summarize your experience, but don't elaborate more. Because one thing is, you need to have a short resume, just 1 or 2 pages. Other thing is, those are irrelevant in the current market. So, and coming to the LinkedIn, as I said, use the customized LinkedIn URLs. Both resume and LinkedIn profile support your brand. So I will tell you what is the branding. And accomplishments on the down, as I said, bulleted accomplishment statement, focus on action and result. Always action. Can include challenge as well. If you can able to identify challenge, action, result. So you can, I provide my resume, and you can look at those statements I created. This will help you to think about how you can include in your resume. And use numbers, as I said, dollar values, percentages, and numbers. How many, man hours you saved. So tell so what kind of things. Answer so what. So you worked on this, but so what. So that's the thing you have to answer. And prioritize target bulleted statement. You need to have a prioritize, like make sure you are on the right order, and summarize the older experience. As I said before, you can summarize. And the top part is branding. What makes you unique, right? So your brand is your reputation, your unique value proposition. Your brand is demonstrated throughout your resume. This is a really important topic. I will dive deep into that branding. The next one. So this will enable you to identify the uniqueness of your resume apart from others, right? So your resume tells your professional story. Use it to sell yourself. So how you sell yourself, this is where highlights. You can use all these inputs. I can provide a couple of We have templates available. We have a couple of blogs, videos. So I can share all those. And important points in the header include your desired role along with your name and phone number, email. As I said, it's okay to be different from the actual title in your company. Sometimes you can include same title, but if you're applying for a different role, you can highlight that you are good at that role. You want kind of aspirational title that you are looking. You can include that in the header. And if you're considering multiple roles, make sure you one resume for each role. As I said, you can have multiple resumes you have to create based on the job description. Don't want to list something unless it is absolutely necessary. As I said, you can remove based on job description, you can low light, you can remove things, and you have to do all those customizations before applying. And don't want to list, and the next one is add GitHub, YouTube channel, blogs, etc. if they are relevant to the applying. So as I said, if you worked on a couple of GitHub projects, or if you are YouTuber, you can include your channel, or if you are adding something to the community, if you are writing blogs or articles, always include those as a kind of points in your resume, kind of summary, and build resume with a focus on specific role. So don't create generic resumes and apply with the same resume, the range of roles and positions. And only the last 10-15 years, as I said, you need to just highlight, but everything you can include in the LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is there to elaborate about your old experiences. So use the resume only for last 10-15 years, and hyperlinks if applicable. So you can also include hyperlink. These days, people are looking at the soft copies of a resume. So even the interviewer will have soft copies, will enable you can click on the links. They can really understand about your product or your achievements or your apps or websites. So add the hyperlinks that will enable recruiters and also hiring managers to know more about the products you worked on. And build a text format resume. So as I said, don't create fancy, colorful. And there are so many resume reviewers, and free and paid. There are a lot of free people are there and paid. Also, they use them if needed. So you can ask their inputs. So one such person is Alisha Novin. So he is really famous and he is always helpful. I can show you his resume. His LinkedIn profile is always open to helping. So he's always about helping others. So you can connect with him. There are a lot of people like this. So even I'm also ready to help my knowledge, like kind of my learnings. You can contact me anytime. So let's look into the next points here. Yeah, too much information can create clutter. That is another thing. You should make sure resume has highlights only. A more concise, focused resume lets you present yourself better. And you have to have a clear narrative about yourself. Okay, if you really need more help and you're affordable, it's okay to hire career coaches. This is also something I want to highlight. If someone don't know what to do, how to do, they may not have proper skills or coaches, or kind of, if you can definitely take the help of others. There are a lot of career coaches available. So you have to invest on yourself. This is very important. Without investing, we cannot get any profits in the market, right? If you are investing on something, if you want to gain something, you have to invest. It could be the same case in the career too, right? So you can invest your time, you can invest your money, you can invest, you have to think about yourself, deep, and then you will definitely able to create, good resumes, and you can easily get a job. You have to invest on yourself. That's what I want to highlight. And here is the next topic, building the personal brand. So it's almost like 1 hour. I will just quickly complete this. Around 3 topics we will finish. The next week we can finish 3 more topics. So what is personal branding? This is very important topic in terms of career, in terms of job description as well. So we buy products from reliable and well-known companies because those companies have established brand value by maintaining quality, loyalty, and awareness, right? So we always, try to, buy the products from the good brand. So do you ever think that you are your own product and you need the same level of branding? Yes. So we have to have a personal branding. So the personal branding is a process of defining and promoting what you stand for as an individual. and what you bring to the table. This is really important for the people to understand you as a person. So not only your skills and experiences, achievements, that's one part of the story. The other part is as a brand, as a personal brand, what you are up to and what you really want to go. So reputation is about credibility. This is like recommendations. All those things is about credibility. You worked on something, you helped something, you get a good feedback. Some people may have bad credibility, or some people may not like, but that's different. This is credibility is different. This is about visibility. The brand is about visibility. So your personal brand is about visibility and the values that you want to outwardly represent. So what your values, what your passion. So those are the things. And your personal brand is much more intentional. So this is how you want people to see you, right? So you can add whatever the passion. If you want to be a leader, you can include you want to be a leader, and that's where the title, the headline, you can include your main qualities or the brand items that you want to go in your career. So personal branding is not presenting a fake identity. That is another thing. Don't present something your fake identity or creating a character for yourself. You have to, it's a curating certain parts of your personality to present yourself to your network in a best possible way. So because after having 10 plus years, 20 plus years experience, how you want to present yourself to the community, to the recruiters, to the um, for hiring managers. That's really important. So you want to include that in your resume and LinkedIn. So your brand need to be highlighted, and also your it's really differentiate you from the different, like say, people of same experience, right? If the same people have same experience, similar kind of technology they worked on, what differentiate is the branding. So essentially, it is how you present yourself and your values to the world and ensure that your target audience knows who you are, what you stand for, and why it is worth choosing your others. So that's the main thing. So people will think about you and think and look at your brand and what are your values, and they will think, hey, this person is better for my for our role, for our career, or for our company, rather than the other people with a similar experience. That brand will differentiate. So branding is a branding is a personal brand may seem promotional. So building a person, sometimes some people will think it is a promotional at first. So why should I promote myself? But it's not. You have to do it. So personal brand is how you define the distinctive value that you bring to the career. So what you really interested. This is where like you have to tell to the community, right? It has the potential to strengthen your connections. That is another thing. People will know you with a particular things. Engage more deeply with your colleagues, friends, and families. They can understand, hey, you are passionate about on this one. Let's say I want to be a mentor, right? I want to help the college students. I want to help the new entrants into the career. This is my personal interest. That's I want to be identified as a mentor going forward. So where I can help the people who are in this kind of job applying skills. That's why you need to build that the brand. If you are, let's say you are a web developer, you are building a lot of websites. So you just need to highlight that you can help the people, you can help the organizations like nonprofits. So you will create that brand so that people will, you are known for something. That's what the brand is. So as I said, you have to, it's not overnight thing. The brand cannot be created in overnight. So you always need to work on it. You have to invest your time and efforts. So this really differentiate you from the crowd. As I said, this is a differentiation, right? So you can always, there are a lot of ways you can create your brand. You can identify your personal interest and buy good books and do some courses, and you can pay for mock interviews and career coaches. You can identify yourself and where you are good at. So this is where important. So why the personal branding important? Here's another couple of answers for this question. Building a strong and memorable brand identity is the key to making long-lasting impression. So we know nowadays we have competitive job market. We are in the world where everyone has degrees, everyone has experience. That is why these employers are looking for candidate with something extra that makes you unique. What you did other than your job, your experience, other than your core thing. So developing a solid personal brand is really important. It makes you yourself remember. People will remember from the crowd, and this with this kind of personal brand will enable you to the new opportunities as well. So sometimes people will ping you, hey, we have this opportunity, do you want to contribute? They will ping you, and they will give you opportunities as well. So personal branding is the process of creating an identity for yourself and your individual. So how you want to be identified, right? So well defined and consistent look. So as I said, it should be consistent across years. It will take a couple of years to build a personal brand. So it can build your trust as well. People will trust you, because if you are working on something for a couple of years, and if you are showcasing your skills, if you are talking about your skills, let's say you're an app developer, if you are creating personal apps and you're identifying and you're talking about it, you're sharing about it, this will create a brand. This will create a trust in the people. They will come and ask you, and you can get the new opportunities as well. So that's why it is how we can do this. The personal brand is always helpful, and as I said, the audience trust you more. And online presence, people look at your presence, online presence, where are you are in social media and LinkedIn, also blogs. They will look at all around, and they can understand where you are at. That will create the brand. So here is the steps building brand. So decide what you want to be known for, figure out what drives you, what motivates you, so you can identify. And the existing can, like, this existing can brand is also important. So what values, beliefs, and goals that you currently driving you. So audit your existing brand, which is really important. If you are in the industry for 10 years or 20 years, or even a couple of years, you already created some brand. You are known for something and existing, and find out that. So you need to make sure the post you are putting in Facebook, WhatsApps or status or the LinkedIn or anywhere, so Twitter. So those are all create some kind of personality, right? That's what the personal branding. Make sure they are consistent. Make sure people will trust you in particular areas. So that's where this really helps. If you look at the LinkedIn people, that's what people are doing nowadays. They are posting their thoughts, they are posting their ideas, and they are posting their innovations. They found their projects, their achievements in particular area. They are building a brand. So even the companies are doing it. A lot of people are doing it. You also need to do it. So that's the only way to go, into the market. So differentiate yourself, basically. So there are a lot of ways. How can we do this, right? Create a consistent, as I said, regularly publish. So if you are doing something like a blogging or interviews or social media or videos, you always post in every platform that you are actively engaging. That way the people can reach people. It's a more reach across more channels. So what are the ways, what are the things you can do, right? What are the ideas? So I will tell you in the next slide. So believe it or not, personal branding is here to stay, right? Personal branding, a lot of resources available for personal branding. So you can go and search. So here is different sites. So they will tell you what is personal brand, why it is important. So, and so what is the point of personal brand? Like, you can search online. There are a lot of resources I gone through. I will also see Harvard Business Review. So this is very important. So I can send you these links. You can go through it and understand why it is important. So coming back to the slides, I think we are very close to the end of today's. I'm going to highlight what are the steps, and then we can pass for today. So what are the steps in building, right? So ideas. So I think we already gone through the steps. Ideas. So here are the ideas, some of the personal branding ideas for software engineers. What you can do is you can create some GitHub account. You need to have a GitHub account, contribute, build your own idea. If you have some ideas, create your apps, create websites. And if you have a backend engineer, create some backend services and showcase in a RESTful APIs. You can use Swagger, or some way you have to present yourself, or pick an open source project and contribute. So not only just doing a job, you're doing something else out of it. You're contributing to the community, right? So that's really important. So and technical community involvement. So join or create meetups groups and give sessions and help others. These are all create a distinct, like how you will be separate from the crowd, right? So how can you make yourself? Of course, if many people are doing it, still there are some differentiations, right? Your skills along with this activities will differentiate you. So there are a lot of activities. I can give you an example. In your areas, you can find the technical communities. So in SD skills is one thing we recently, like it's there in Seattle area. So where you can, all the SD like senior software engineers are, they can meet and they can discuss. You can give sessions there. So this is one idea. So where you can involve, basically community involvement is really important. Everywhere there is some community. If not, you can create your own. Just go to meetups.com. I don't know how many people know about that. Meetups is a very great place. Meetup.com. So Meetup is a very interesting place where you can find the people with the same interest, and you can create your own clubs, and you can meet once a week, once a month based on your availability. So just do some community, gatherings and community activities. So that's really interesting. And maintain a website and blog. If you are an interested person who will maintain your own website, you can create your website or blog, create articles, and share your knowledge. So this is where you can also be differentiated from others, and create YouTube channel and share your knowledge. This is also people are doing, right? So many people are doing, and they are sharing their knowledge. They are creating videos. So, or you can mentor the people. You like, that's the path I choose, right? So I want to help the students and people who are in trying jobs. If they are trying to understand the coding problems or basic algorithms, I'm ready to help on that. So how can we understand the basics of algorithm, different data structures, and why you need to understand how to differentiate. So I'm going to dive into those as well in the preparation. So that's where I help. So that's how you need to create your own brand, and always share your activity. That's another thing. People are doing it. Some people are not sharing in the LinkedIn. They are not actively, they will contribute to the society. They will be part of a lot of social groups. They are contributing a lot, but unless you share, people don't know. Only the people you work with in your community, maybe 5, 10 or 50 people, they may know. But how about the rest of the world? So if you are applying for somewhere, how will they know? So you have to always share what you are learning, what you are doing, and get relevant recommendations as well. If it is really helpful, if it is related to your particular jobs or skills, ask them to put a recommendation. So if you all agree about this personal brand, please say yes. So if you have any questions, please ask me. So yeah, so as I said, as a software engineer, you can find a lot of ways to contribute. So you can clone repos. There are a lot of open source projects. You can find bugs or fix bugs for them, and you be part of their project. You can create test cases. You can create pull requests, because if you are working on an open source project, that definitely differentiate you, I would say. Of course, I haven't contributed. This is something I'm looking. So always try to do that and publish your own apps. I worked on mobile domain for around 10 years. I published around 4 or 5 personal apps. Those are my own ideas, and there's so many hundreds of thousands of people downloaded. So that's where you can contribute. So other than your normal job, you are doing your something extra, right? So freelancing, kind of, if you are freelancing and working for others and you're earning, it's okay. You can include all those projects, and really helpful. And publish your website and APIs. If you are working on websites and helping other companies, always project them. So showcase the links, website URLs, Swagger URLs, everything in your LinkedIn profile. So yeah, these are different strategies, and these are different ways you can build your personal branding. So I think we are almost time here, and I want to just give you what we are going to cover in the next session. So we have job applying strategies. I will share what are the different strategies, interviewing preparation, how to prepare for different interviews like coding interview, system design, architecture, behavior. What are the differences? What they're really looking into? What are the expectations? So I will go dive deep into those areas. What are the phone interviews? How at the same time coding and design, and also managerial rounds, how to tackle those, and I will give all those tips. And finally, do's and don'ts. As I said, I will also cover do's and don'ts on the interview day. So these are the different topics I covered. Please ask me any questions. I'm happy to answer. Okay, and let's get back to here. Any questions? Okay, here I'm looking now. So this is a really good session, which I have been looking for, but apologies, I really have been dropped. No problem. So it's a recording is available. We will send the recording, and you're always able to access. And how important expanding your professional branding, your blogs, personal. As I just said, like Stack Overflow is another good thing. Yeah, very interesting. You can add your points, Stack Overflow, how many points you created, how many problems you solved, how many people you helped. They will give you all the ratings. So those are the another way. Yeah. I'm currently working AWS. I'm looking. Let me put in my other system here. Yeah, the monitor. How can I update my LinkedIn heading, summary, and the content coworkers management that are connected with me LinkedIn? Yeah, as I said, I just gave all the inputs, right? You keep updating those, and you think about your what you worked on, and then you add all those contents in it, and don't reveal something which is say a kind of something you don't want to reveal. Some companies have restrictions, right? So you just highlight the publicly facing information, what you worked on, what it's really helping, and those are the things you have to be very careful while you're updating. So yeah, and I want to, yeah, and anyone have any questions, I'm ready to please raise your hand and we can talk. So yeah, Vijay sir, any updates that you want to share, anything that you want to add?
No, I think you covered it, really well, Suresh. I think thank you so much. The importance of a LinkedIn profile and personal brand, I think in a society, in a changing job landscape today, where everybody can put a resume and everybody can, I think how do you make your resume or your profile stand up, right? I think the differentiators, the unique selling propositions, which can represent your brand, I think those are very, very important points. We're just looking forward to your next sessions in terms of how do you prepare for an interview and how to successfully arrive at a job of your aspiration. I think that's a good follow-up session for this one. So thanks for taking this session, and we'll definitely share the content out. And thanks everybody for attending. Please do send out our questions and reach out to S-Mentor, Suresh, any one of us. We're here to empower you guys on your endeavors. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Vijay. Yeah, thank you everyone, and see you next week. Yeah, please invite any new friends as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.